Hello, Pirate Dave here. It is another new comic book day. It's July 8th, 2026. Let's get right into it with some comic books. And up first, we have Jeff the Land Shark Superstar with a nice mirror finish foily cover there. Look, you can see my cell phone in the reflection. Obviously, this is a cutout variant. I don't have any plans to cut out the cover to dress up Jeff personally, but hey, if this video gets 1,000 likes, I'll cut out all these costumes and dress up Jeff. These videos usually get about 20 views, if any likes at all. Kelly Thompson is writing this. Kelly Thompson is the original writer for Jeff the Land Shark when he started as an Infinity comic on Marvel Unlimited. The artist, however, is Tokito Koro. I'm not familiar with that. Of course, Jeff fans will know that the original artist is Guri Haru. Yes, Guri Haru. You can see right there. I don't really know what to expect from Jeff the Land Shark Superstar. Hopefully, it'll just be some fun times. It's really what you want from any Jeff. That's really what you want from any Jeff comics. Look at this guy. Mojo World. Oh, he's so sick looking. I really don't know what's going on here, but I'm excited to have some fun with it. And look at all the Wolverines. This is probably where we'll leave it at. If you didn't pick up Jeff the Land Shark Superstar, you missed out on a whole cast of Wolverines there. That is your loss, of course, but it's not too late. Just head on down to your local comic shop and pick it up right now. Up next, we have Supergirl number 15. I believe this is the end of the current story arc for Supergirl. You can see this is a part of the Reign of the Superboys event, although some people have been critical because Connor Kent isn't quite prominently featured in the story. He's actually very much the damsel in distress. So if you don't if you don't like seeing your Superboys in those positions, then you might be wary of this story arc. But personally, I have been enjoying it very much. Of course, it is currently written and drawn by Sophie Campbell. Some artists have been coming and going out of the series, but Sophie Campbell started it, and she's currently finishing up this particular story arc. And in this story arc, Supergirl has gone through a number of iterations, a lot of them harkening back to old heroes such as Cyborg Superman from Reign of the Supermen, and then we get a little bit of a reference to Matrix, May Kent in the last issue. It's very much a Silver Age oriented modern comic book. Up next, we have my personal favorite comic series at the moment, although it is coming to an end after issue number 13. For now, issue number 11 of The Seasons. You can see Summer Season right there on the cover in beautiful gold armor. You can see the shards breaking through this glass, and shards of winter seasons and spring seasons, and it looks like the parents, and then there's autumn seasons right there at the bottom. What a cover. How fantastic. I do think, I don't know, I'm sure that Rick Remender, who is the writer on this, maybe he did plan for only 13 issues. It certainly doesn't feel that way because Winter Seasons has gotten such a long arc, and it felt like Summer got a pretty long arc as well. Spring had some very personally oriented issues as well, so we only have a few issues left to explore Autumn and the parents in particular. But maybe I'm rambling on too much there, and I'm not focusing on the absolutely beautiful artwork by Paul Azaceta here. In the original issue, Rick Remender included a letter, as he does, citing the inspirations that they had for the artwork on here, which includes Winsor McKay. It includes Adventures of Tintin. That may have been Sorry about that. That may have been in regards to the story. And Hayao Miyazaki, the film animator, who did animate manga before he animated film. Actually would have stayed in manga had Nausicaa Valley of the Wind not taken off. Sorry, that was tangential. The Seasons is my favorite series currently. But here's another great series. This is G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. This is the Larry Hama universe, the original mainline universe that started in Marvel in the 80s. This is issue number 330. See there, focus on it. Currently, you can see from the cover, if you're not aware, this character looming in the foreground is Snake Eyes. Something has been activated among the Snake Eyes variants, which includes Don Marino as well, and it's turning them oddly violent after after Dr. Mindbender discovered this hidden Easter egg in the memory of Dr. Venom's manipulation machine, all the way back in the original series, all the way back in the very original G.I. Joe issues. So if you are an original Marvel G.I. Joe issues fan from the 80s, this may be an issue to jump on, maybe the previous issue, in fact, just to get oriented with exactly what's going on here, because things are coming to light from when Snake Eyes was tortured by Dr. Venom, and he has become a threat. Look at that. Gonna have to leave that for you to discover on your own. More of course, but it's a very exciting time for G.I. Joe: Real American Hero. Up next is Vampirates! Exclamation point. Vampirates. I don't know a whole lot about this series other than it's vampires and pirates. I love this variant cover. The artist is Michael Dialicus. Oh, sorry. Michael Dialinas is the artist of this one. And it's a beautiful, look at that beautiful spot variant with that gold foil. I am such a fan of gold foil. I'm a sucker for it. In fact, if you put gold foil on your cover and I'm not even reading your book, I might just buy it just because I love it so much. Vampirates is written by Fred Van Lente and illustrated by Luca Pizzari, colored by Adam Guzowski. As I said, I don't know what to expect. I'm just expecting a pirate adventure with vampirism in it. I don't know if there's this particular brand of piracy that vampires ascribe to that normal pirates do not, or vice versa. Sorry if I'm exposing an embarrassing realm of ignorance, but I am not well versed on the vampire pirate hybrid subculture, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to give it a chance here. Sorry, my mouth is full of marbles. And look at that. Some really great illustrations, some really great imagery. Love that splash page, of course. Excited for this, although I must be honest, when I was looking up at the League of Comic Geeks page, it's sitting at a 3.5 rating, only out of 18 ratings, though. That really isn't much to make a big judgment on, but it does have me a little concerned. Up next, we have Duo Power Bomb. This is technically number 1 of the black and white series, re-release of this series, but this collects issues number 1 and 2. Is that not confusing? That's confusing, I'm sure. And of course, this variant cover is awesome. It's a, as you can probably tell, it's a homage to Joshi style wrestling covers from the 70s and the 80s, probably more the 80s and early 90s, I would say, than anything else. I'm not super well versed on Joshi is specifically female wrestling, Japanese female wrestling, and it's significant, right? Because Japanese female wrestling is extremely, sorry, look at that corner's bent a little bit there. Japanese female wrestling has been extremely innovative for decades. A lot of the crazy sort of stuff that you're seeing now really was originated by the Joshi wrestlers of the 80s and the 90s. They just moved in a way that was unparalleled. And of course, you see some of the Joshi wrestlers from the modern era now in WWE, and in terms of Kana, who is Asuka in WWE, and Kairi Hojo, who is Kairi Sane, or was Kairi Sane. I think she may have retired by now. I have not read Do a Powerbomb. It's a series that I've kind of been avoiding, to be honest, because it gets so much praise. I was big into wrestling. I was a wrestler myself for a short amount of time, just a few years, but I was so obsessed with the industry, and I was obsessed with the art form. I'll say the exhibition and the performance, that whenever I do read or watch like wrestling oriented stuff that maybe takes it a little bit too seriously, I don't know, it's hard for me to get immersed into it, because I'll be honest, I take offense at even very little things that may not appreciate how difficult and how, you know, how intimidating and difficult the act and performance of professional wrestling is. I'm rambling a little bit, but I am excited to finally give it a try, to be honest, and I'm glad that it got reprinted in this way so that I could, if I do enjoy it, I can check out the colorized version. Lastly, for the floppies this week, we have Altered States Warlords number 2. This is the team up from Dynamite featuring their 4 probably most well-known IPs in Red Sonja, who was the first issue. The first issue was entirely about Red Sonja. John Carter and Deja Thoris, who are in this issue. Tarzan and Vampirella. We have not seen Tarzan or Vampirella yet. We are running into Deja Thoris and John Carter, and the entire story is taking place on Mars. So in the first issue, Red Sonja did get transported to Mars. The timeline will make sense if you read that issue. They do make sense of it. So for this issue, it looks like we're jumping to the 1800s, to John Carter's time on Earth. Let me get some credits here real quick. David Avallone is writing this. Artist is Mariano Benitez Chapo, and it's being it's being colored by Jorge Sutil. Sorry, Jorge Sutil. I think I made that mistake before. Anyway, this issue number 2 is reorienting us on John Carter's story, how he was transported from Earth to Barsoom, which is the Martian name for Mars, so the Barsoomian name for Mars, I guess you might say. And you see John Carter just showing up there, and it jumps to 2 months later. So we are going to see more. It's going to be an issue more focused on John Carter and Deja Thoris, and who knows, maybe Vampirella will wake up in this issue. Maybe we'll see a glimmer of Tarzan, and maybe we'll see what's up with Red Sonja. I do not know, but I imagine that the format's going to be like the first issue. It's going to go Deja Thoris, and then the next issue is going to be Tarzan focused or Red Sonja focused. For our bonus books, our collected editions that we bought, first we have Showcase Presents Ambush Bug. This is not easy to find for a reasonable price, I'll tell you that much. The cover price of this book is only $17, I believe. Yeah, you can see there, $17. But it regularly is priced at $80, $100. Maybe you're lucky if you get it down to $60. I was lucky enough to get it for about 40, which I think some people will look at this and say, wow, that's ridiculous, you overpaid for that. Maybe I did, but looks like a lot of pages there, although it's a very light book too. A lot of pages there, and I am interested in Ambush Bug. Ambush Bug is kind of, a lot of people call him the the original Deadpool in many ways, and I have seen him. Again, I say this all the time because I have so much experience with the game. My experience mostly with him comes from DC Universe Online, the free MMO. Although he was in Suicide Squad 2021, I believe, the one where Peacemaker is leader of the squad. Excited to get into this collection, excited to learn more about Ambush Bug and maybe find out, why we don't see why he's not a bigger character these days. I imagine this won't help me find out why he's not a bigger character. It's probably just going to introduce a lot more questions, but I'm excited to get into it. And last but certainly not least, we have Miscreant Anthology Volume 1. Look at this. I already beat this up. It's so no, I'm just kidding. It was printed like that. This sort of stylized weathering around the cover. It's very cool. This, of course, is from Miscreant Media, Eric Williamson. If you're familiar with When We Were the Voyage, or you're familiar with Prismatic from, I believe it was last year, maybe the year before. Williamson is a fantastic creator. He's imaginative, and he creates stuff that has he creates content that has so much consideration into what's put into it. He doesn't just slap stuff on the page and send it out. It's all calculated and it's all distinct, and it has depth so that you can peel back layers of it. All that said, this mostly will not be Eric Williamson, because Eric Williamson actually, although Miscreant, it was his original zine sort of zine series that he did. He invited a bunch of people to contribute works for this. All these lines that you're seeing are credited works that appear in the book. Look at that. We're not done. There is hundreds and hundreds of works in this book, from short stories to poetry to pinups, illustrations to short comic strips. Just leafing through it, we'll go ahead and leaf through it a little bit. You can see Eric Williamson gets top billing, understandably, of course, with the short story here. We get a wonderful Frankenstein illustration from Your Pal Ben Monster, right into a short story, Earth Boy Meets Cosmic Girl by Hannah Hopkinson. And then just to sort of jump around, you see we'll get little splashes of comic strips, short little poems. Wonderful photorealistic illustration there. I wonder, is that a photograph? I think it might be an actual photograph. Yes. Wonderfully done. You can see we actually get a script here. Poetry, Prune Face by Suzanne Friedman. Cassandra, a self-portrait by Cassie Lipton. Some wonderful pictures. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful illustrations. Nice little short comic here. This is The Weight of Providence. Script by Eric Williamson, art by Latique Curry. And we're just going to jump really quick through here so you can see all the myriad of different works that go into this, and all the people that just volunteered their work for this. I thank you. It's quite a collection. This is so sinister. Look at that. Heligram. Don't get an artist credit there, unfortunately. Everybody that contributed work to this, thank you very much. It's quite a collection. This hardcover was, I believe, a pledge of $100 on Kickstarter. That might have been the early bird price. It might have gone up to $120. Sorry that I don't have that information super handy for you, but check out Miscreant Media on Big Cartel, I believe it is. There may be some copies left, maybe of I believe there was a soft cover version as well. But if this looks interesting to you, and you're getting, I think it's something like, I don't want to be wrong here, but I thought it was something like 800 pages. I mean, you're getting so much content, and you're getting content from people that are, you know, really, prob- just considerate and passionate about what they do, just as Eric Williamson is. You can see this wonderful closing note from Eric, Mr. Williamson, at the end. And we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Mr. Eric Williamson. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to Thor. I've been waiting for it, and of course, I also want to mention that uh, Eric will give you, this, not just advertisements for his, for his upcoming works, but he will give you personalized notes, and he'll take time out of his day to write. And he remembers you. He remembers, the casual relationship that you have with purchasing his books in the past, and he'll give you some kind words. And I mean, it's something that he doesn't have to do. It's just super appreciated, and it's just super fascinating to interact with the creator on that level, especially when you really enjoy and appreciate his work, and to get appreciated back in that way. Just very, very cool. Again, check out miscreant media on miscreant media on Big Cartel. It might be miscreantmedia.bigcartel.com. I don't want to mess that up. I'll probably put a link in the description just to be safe. Check that out for more copies of the Miscreant Anthology and other works by Eric Williamson, and be on the lookout for his upcoming work, Thor. It's going to be a sort of more raw, more visceral, more accurate, I believe is how it's being described, take on Norse mythology and the thunder god in particular. Uh, don't Hopefully I'm not misconstruing the project there. And like I said, check out Eric's site personally so you can see for yourself. For now, I hope you had a great comic book day. I had a great comic book day. I'll see you next week. Bye.